Okay, so now we're gonna have a little fun with fabric in Maya. So I guess the Maya sewing network. All right, so let's see. First off, anything can be turned to fabric, but I'm going to take a cylinder, kind of make it a little bit longer, and go into its height axis by going into here, subdivision height, and let's rank it all the way to 50. Okay, if you're familiar with the older cloth method, you had to tessellate um, this to the point of no return, and then it would start looking good. But this one actually runs off quads, so it's great. You don't have to use any triangles anymore. Okay, so let's also grab a sphere, put it up here. Let's grab another sphere and put it over here and raise, make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so let's click on this item and go into the end cloth and go create end cloth. Okay, anytime you don't want it, there is also a remove end cloth. Okay, pretty basic stuff. All right, so what happens right now? Let's also make a plane, just like that. And let's take this and make it passive. Okay, so that end cloth. Now, this is a different passive. Has to be an end cloth passive in order for this to work. And if you hit play, nothing happens because there's no gravity on the scene. Okay, so this rope has to have some gravity to it. Click on the gravity. Okay, and there it goes crashing to the ground. And it's going to fold into a whole bunch of like just things. So I'm going to rank this up to maybe 100. 6 on the keyboard. I'm just going to kind of zoom in on this area and hit play. And there it goes. It's just going into a crumpled ball of a whole bunch of exploded polygons. Okay, so it's very soft fabric. So I'm just going to kind of back that up a little bit. Okay, now in here, under end cloth, we could state certain things like the dampness of it, collision dampness, and maybe I'll put the collision dampness to 1, and maybe this one also to 1. Hit play. See, it's saying a little bit soft. It's just taking a little longer. When it's colliding, it's kind of understanding it a little bit better, but still not too much because there's not a lot of tessellation going on here. It's taking a lot longer, that's for sure. Okay, so that's dampening. It just takes a little longer. It's just like any of the other dynamics with dampening. It tries to figure it out a little bit better. So okay, also I have rigidity. Okay, which is a really nice attribute to it. There was one other thing. Max interactions. So if I raise this to 800, hit play. Okay, see how it's folding up on itself now? And it's not so exploded. Very flowing like. Okay, and you can see when it gets down to a point, it stops. Okay, so how do we make it so it doesn't drop? Maybe we want this to attach to something. If we go to the vertex of it, highlight the vertex here, and go to the top, highlight some of the vertices on the ball, we can now use this new feature called component to component. Okay, there we go. It makes these rubber band things that allow it to not fall to the ground. Okay, and now if we want to see how that interacts, here's another thing. go to the ball, create passive. Click on the ball, hit S on the keyboard, move this over. Move the ball over. Anytime you scrub across the timeline, it will kind of try to blow up on you. Okay, so if that happens, just hit escape, and you can go over here and type in 100. It'll put you at the end. You can hit escape again. And what I want to do is find the ball, which is in a field of constant streaming polygons. But if I can click on it, there we go. And just go over here and hit S. There we go. So now it's moving from one point to the other, and it's got a collide on it. Now that will not happen when you just hit play. It'll actually figure it out quite nicely. Okay. Now you can also animate this little guy. Let's hit S on the keyboard. Okay. Hit escape. That'll break it out of its cycle. And I can move it over here and hit S on the keyboard. Okay, now you didn't see the thing move with it. It will not move real time. Hit play. There we go. Okay, your assignment as a student is to figure out how to make a flag on a pole and have it so the wind is going right through it. Also, I want you to set up one of these simulations with a rope and make it pretty interesting. Use your imagination. All right. I would say, you know what would be kind of cool is maybe several of these set up with a ball going through it like a beaded curtain. Okay. And have, you can have beads going all the way down this thing because you can actually take the cloth and do a little bit of a component to component all the way down and make a beaded curtain. So I changed my mind. I want you to make a beaded curtain. Okay, you know how like those hippies used to have in their doorways. All right, so that's your assignment, and enjoy.